Hello, hello, hello. I thought I gave myself some kind of weird message, so I wasn't sure. I have a very exciting day today because it is Featured Female Day. So I am waiting for our featured female to hop on, and I'm going to send a request to her. Give her just a second. I know she is so busy. She's got a big event coming up this Sunday. And I know she was recently live on another venue. So I want to make sure I've got time for her to switch over. And I have just turned on the notification so that she can invite herself if that is possible. And I'm also checking to see. There we go. We've got some people tuning in. Hi, Cynthia. Great to see you again. You know who's coming on because we met recently, and I'm just looking for her. I am just looking for her to come on so that I can introduce all of you to her. For some reason, something is not cooperating. I know that comes as a shock to all of you. But hey, there are technical things that happen. Excuse my finger if you guys saw that. I want to make sure she is on. There, I just gave her a shout out. So boom, spoiler alert, there she is. Let's see. I think, there we go. She just asked, and now she's coming. Here she comes. Here she comes. And it says it's adding, but you know, we're going to Texas. Oh, there she is.
Hello.
How
Can
are
you hear me?
you?
I'm great. How are you?
I am well, and I can hear you, and kind of like welcome to Arkansas because you're kind of
Thank
here,
you. Thank you.
right? You know,
It was a
so
great trip. I'm loving your red.
and
Yes.
I wore it because I knew you would be in your
Matching that
yellow.
beautiful book of yours.
Girl, so sweet. Thank you. Look at all
You're
these people
welcome.
hopping on to give you some love. We've got Leah here,
Yes.
Cynthia, Jennifer, Grace from the UK. Girl,
Yay.
that's a commitment. Hi, Grace. And April is here. So I don't want to delay because you have so much to share. And I'm so excited for those who haven't met you yet to do so and for people to learn more about you and your book. So let me just kind of give us a formal, official introduction. I'm Daphne Smith, here today with you, my featured guest, author Brenda Haire of Save the Butter Tubs. And we're going to talk about your subtitle and a lot of things. Hey, Amanda, that are happening now for you and for those who are going to get your book. So let's see. Let's really start at the beginning.
Ooh.
I met Brenda, we'll catch everybody up real fast, about 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Probably.
About 2.5 years ago. 2 years ago, August. So yeah.
Okay. So just a little over 2 years ago, Brenda had a desire in her heart, and I had the privilege and honor of learning about that kind of firsthand. And then she has been taking the steps to make this dream a reality. And one of the things, Brenda, I don't know if I've ever shared this with you, that impressed me the most, oh my gosh, I'm gonna tear up, is because of your inspiration for your book. Okay.
That's what makes
I
me
know you serve
happy.
bunch of crybabies. The reason you wanted to write this book, in part, was a tribute to a very special person and woman in your
Yes.
life. So,
Yes.
without messing up all your makeup, like I'm about ready to do, tell us a little bit about your inspiration and why you wanted to write this book.
Certainly. Thank you so much for having me. Well, my inspiration for this book, Save the Butter Tubs, was obviously my grandmother, right? What grandmother didn't save butter tubs? So it was my grandmother, and it's not a book about recycling, but it's about worth. It's about discovering your worth. And my grandmother always saw the value in things. She saw the value in the simplest of butter tubs. She saw the value in people, and she saw the value in me. Ultimately, I was the butter tub that she saved.
Okay, April Alexander just shared some beautiful wisdom with us that tears come from passion. I
Oh,
love that. April,
I
I'm
love that too.
stealing it, and I'm pretty sure
That
Brenda
yeah,
will as well.
I'm a
So,
big crybaby, so I like that because I'm also very passionate. So
yeah, definitely. And we've had Lisa hop on and a whole bunch of other people. So let's focus on the questions because we could just turn this into a party, which there's nothing wrong with that.
we
However,
could, yeah,
I want to make sure we're giving value to those who are giving
absolutely.
of their time. So your grandmother was the inspiration. She believed in the value of what other people may consider disposable things. Sadly, that applies to people sometimes.
Yes.
And so I know one of the questions I asked you was there a time in your life when you didn't feel like you were worth saving? Will you share a little bit about that?
Yes. Sadly, I've had more than one of those days, moments, as I'm sure many people do. That was one of the biggest motivators for me to follow through with the book. You know, my grandmother passed away in 2017, and for me to follow through with the book, of course I wanted to honor her, but I really wanted to let people know that their worth is not about all the excess, all the external things. That even when we feel the emptiest, God can still use us. And one of my good friends, Joan Turley, says that um, broken vessels still hold light. And I actually believe that broken vessels disperse light better. Think about broken glass. Broken glass disperses the light. And so, you know, I have felt broken very often, many times. I still struggle. I mean, it's a daily thing to know where my worth comes from. And of course, you know, my worth comes from my faith, my belief in Jesus Christ. Not everybody shares that same faith, but that's okay. Knowing that your worth is bigger than all of the other stuff is what's really important. And so, yeah, so my brokenness, my light hopefully is dispersed everywhere because I had a lot of brokenness.
Girl, you shine brightly. And let me just kind of draw our viewers in. And I'm going to ask them to be a little vulnerable here. And I'm going to ask them whether they feel it now or ever in their life felt and been broken. Simply type in the comments, broken. When we are honest with others about our journey, that's when we are able to heal. When we're living in denial and we're putting on the fake face, then God can't move in and work through us because he's a gentleman. He's only going to go where he's been invited. And again, we're not here to preach. We're not here to convert anybody. This is our belief and this is our faith. And we honor people who have different beliefs.
Yes.
Regardless of the belief, there is not a person on this planet that doesn't have value.
Amen. Exactly.
And,
Yes. And
and
that is
so,
what my grandmother, that's what she was about in a nutshell. Was,
yeah.
you know, she owned her own restaurant, and for years, you know, I share in the book a story about at her funeral, this man that I had no idea who he was. She worked with him later in her career. He rode his bicycle across town. Now, this man was in his probably late 60s, 70s, maybe even older. I don't know. He rode his bicycle across town in the dark in San Antonio, Texas. Okay, population 1.5 million people, to come pay his respects to my grandmother. He was the dishwasher that worked with her. She was the cook. He was the dishwasher. So obviously she saw value in him and poured into his life for him to go through such trouble to pay respects, you know, to pay his respects to her. So there is value in everyone. And, you know, we sometimes, you know, people get looked over because of their status, and it shouldn't be that way. Did
Yeah,
you freeze?
yeah.
Yeah.
So, wow, that Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. The sad thing is that there are people who won't cross the street to go impact another life or to be poured into. And your grandmother simply lived her calling. She
Mhm.
fulfilled her destiny by pouring into and believing in others. And again, that's just such a
Yeah.
beautiful tribute to her and to her beliefs. And one of the things that I also asked you is what motivates you to share your message? And you shared a little bit
Mhm.
about gifts and talents and
Mhm.
purpose and dispelling lies. That's something you and I certainly have in
Mhm.
common is that, hey, we ain't got no time for lies. This life is
That's right.
short. We
Mhm.
don't know how many days we have on this planet. And if we're living in lies, we're living in fear. So talk to us a little bit about the discovering your gifts and talents and living into who you're created to be.
Yes. Well, my book is broken down into three parts. And so the first part is the lies. That's the lies that we tell ourselves, the lies that the world tells us, that the enemy tells us, and we have to identify those so that we can let go of them and we can figure out how those lies are serving us or not serving us in our lives. And often they're serving us in a very bad way, they're doing a disservice to us really. So we have to learn what to trash. That's the first part of the book is the trash. In order to learn what to treasure. If the lies are constantly covering up and the treasure's being buried, it serves no purpose. And so we have to kind of get away all the yucky stuff. And I believe you call it crap in your book. I know that stands for something, but it's true, right? All that stuff. And but we have to get rid of that so that we can see the truth. And the truth is that we all have gifts. We all have something within us. And sometimes we look so big for this external, grand title. We all want this, to be this whatever it is. Everybody has their own thing. And the biggest lesson that my grandma taught me was that she became a cook out of her circumstances. Her father passed away when she was 9. She was the oldest daughter. And so she became a cook out of her circumstances. She wanted to be a nurse, but she quickly realized that she was good at cooking and that she could serve others through that. So instead of going to become a nurse, she went on to become a cook and own her own restaurant, going to restaurant and catering, and um, because she understood that she could still serve people with the gift that came through her circumstances. And I think so often, I mean, this book you could say is the gift that came through my circumstances. Having her ask me to write about her life, she really saw something in me that allowed me to bloom into what I had been called to do for years before that. And so I think we need to stop looking for the external and stop for just a moment and look in our circumstances and see what comes natural. What comes natural in a crisis? What do you do naturally in a crisis? That's what you're gifted at. That's what you're called to use. And however you use it, I mean, there's many different ways you can, serve others in many different ways. So I hope that answers the question.
It does. It does. And it really, what it brought to my mind, Brenda, is that, this is something I've said for quite some time. Labels are for things, not
Yes.
people, right? So
Yes.
over there's a table, over there's a
Mm-hmm.
pair of binoculars. Labels identify things. Our
Right.
calling and who we are and whose we are is where our true identity comes from.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
learning from your grandmother's story, some people would be like, oh, a cook? Well, whatever. I got news, y'all. The person who works in the factory who makes sure my toilet paper is on the spool correctly, whoop, whoop, shout out. Come on now. We all got a little tush and we all need to use it at some point in time. How
That's right.
grateful are we when the need is there, right? When you're
Exactly.
hungry,
Yeah.
I want to cook because I got news. I know some nurses, they can't cook worth cootie, right? But if I'm sick, I want somebody who can, minister and
Yeah.
serve me in that way. So yeah, regardless of title or label, our identity is truly where the value in serving others is. And that's what your grandmother did. I
Yes.
love that. Now, Sunday's a big day for you.
Yes, it
Tell us a
is.
little bit about that.
Well, it's the first day of my book tour, which I'm so excited about. It'll be local here. It's at my church here, Life Point Fellowship in Tyler, Texas, and it's not a private event, but it's exclusive as far as the book doesn't launch for another week. So people can come to the event in Tyler, Texas, and get the book exclusively there, or they can pre-order. It's available for pre-order. So this is the first event I'll be speaking at my church. I have a wonderful pastor who is allowing me to have the platform, and he's read the book twice. He's very excited about it, and so it's a huge blessing, but it's a little nerve-wracking, when these are like your peeps. And so it's a little nerve-wracking. From there, I go down to San Antonio, where I'm from. I've only been here 10 years, so I'm from San Antonio originally, so we're having a couple things there. On Friday night, we'll be stopping at the Lake Hills Area Library, where my dad is the county commissioner for that area. So we're having a little celebration at the library there, which I'm really excited about. And then our actual global launch, where the book will be available everywhere books are sold, is on the 20th in San Antonio. And it's at the historic Wong Grocery Building. This is the first place my grandmother worked after she left her farm. So the first place she ever used a telephone, how she learned how to count money and do all those things. So it's a very historic building, and we're so excited to be able to use that. So if you're on Facebook, which I guess that's where you're watching us, go check them out. They have a Facebook page, the historic Wong Grocery Building. And it's not
So
wrong.
it's
Wong.
your grandmother's life. It's not right. It's Wong.
Yeah.
Come full circle.
Yes.
I mean, what a beautiful, beautiful way. And then you and I know some people who are watching us live, we are going to be together October 25th.
Yes.
It's 2 weeks from today.
Yes.
At the Barnes & Noble in Polaris, aka Columbus, Ohio, for one of the world's largest live author book signing events ever. So we'll be together there. And I know our girlfriend Lisa Mosher is on here, and I saw Grace earlier. She may have hopped off because, again, she's in the UK and it's bedtime for them. But that's going to be super exciting. And I want to let everybody know I have several links that I'm going to be putting into the comments of this thread, and then also when this video posts to YouTube, so that you can connect with Brenda through her website, through Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest. Go, find her book, learn more about her. And one of the things I'd also like to encourage people to do, I really give them thanks for putting in their comment about being broken, either then, now, or, you mentioned sometimes the daily struggle. Well, I got news. For Joyce Meyer, it's still a daily struggle. Why? Because there is a bigger force than any of us in this world who want to see us not fulfill our purpose. So for all of you who believe you are worth saving, we're going to blow up Brenda's hashtag, and it's hashtag worth saving, right? Is that it?
Yes, that's it. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, and I post plenty of quotes from the book on my social media, so people can go and share those and help spread the message and help others discover their worth. That's what it's all about. It's not about recycling. It's about discovering your worth.
I know. You never know. Well, people are gonna.
I share quotes all over whatever platform people are on. There's quotes posted, so they can go share it using the hashtag worth saving, and that way other Butter Tub readers can connect and make connections and hopefully help each other through some of this brokenness.
Well, and we never know, just like your grandmother with that dishwasher. We never know who is going to pick up a little something from who we are, what we say, and the way we live. And so drawing people into this conversation through a simple hashtag, I mean, what a gift you could be giving somebody else by simply sharing. So Brenda, is there any one last comment or two? I always end this with a shout out of gratitude. And it's just natural for me to give a shout out to you and
Oh,
for the gift that you are still to this day and beyond to your grandmother. You have not only perpetuated her legacy, you have created one for yourself as well. So I want to thank you
thank you.
for being with us today. Is there any last thing you would like to share with everybody?
Yes, actually. Um, a lot of people who are feeling worthless or feeling like they're not enough, they don't know what the next thing to do would be. And so my suggestion is to start serving, whatever that looks like for you in your community. There's so many places to serve. You can start, at the homeless shelter. You can go, there's in most cities nowadays, they have a church under the bridge. You can connect with serving clothing shelters, or what do they call them? Food pantries,
Yep.
clothing. What's the
Mhm.
word I'm looking for? But we have one here called Jesus's Closet, and they give clothes away for free to people that need them. And you can start by serving. Once you start serving, your gifts are going to kind of rise up, and you're going to start realizing, I'm really good at this, or I really like working with these people. Like, it's funny that the book is about my grandmother, and I love my grandmother, but I really don't like old people. But that's my husband's calling. Like, that's like mine is college students. Like, I love college students, and I love helping that younger age. But my husband, he loves to serve the elderly. He wants, we go to the nursing home and we sing Christmas carols, and that's his jam. He likes that. Not my jam. And so once you start doing those things, you'll find where your fit is. And I think that'll help people come out of their feeling worthlessness, because we all have a value. You just have to find where you plug in.
Yeah, yeah. And so just a quick little disclaimer, do not give Brenda a hard time. She's being honest. She just, if old people aren't her jam, it's not her jam, okay? But don't be hating on Brenda. Her husband more than makes up for it, okay?
Yes,
So
he does.
it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, we
But
balance
also,
out. I get the young
exactly,
ones and he gets the old ones, so we balance out.
exactly. And I think what's really exciting is, no, Lisa, that is not the quote of the day. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm going to wrap this up fast before this gets out of control. Oftentimes, we hear people talking about, find your passion, find your passion. What's your why? All well and good, all very advanced. It
Yes.
may take people a while to get to where they discover their why or discover their passion. And that's why something, to your point, as simple as start serving. It doesn't
Yes.
have to be through a religious affiliation. There are
Right.
plenty of government and community organizations. And here's how you'll know you're in the right spot. Regardless of what it is, if it's picking up trash off the side of the road, if
Or
it's
mowing your
building
neighbor's
beds,
yard.
if it's building beds for homeless children in your area, whatever it is, if it excites you, if you're like, yeah, I'm getting up today and I'm going and I'm serving at the SPCA or whatever that, pet place is. If that's what excites you,
Mhm.
that's how you know, and that's what's going to lead you down the road. So, Brenda,
Yes.
thank you again. Thank all of y'all. I mean, girl, you're blowing this thing up. We've got so many comments. And so,
Oh,
Brenda and I commit, we're going to go back and read these comments. I'm going to get her links because I want to make sure I've got everything spelled correctly. I'm going to put all those in there for you. Again, thank
yeah.
you for
You know
joining
what?
us
I
today.
know, real quick,
Mhm.
Daphne, I know we have people from all over the world. I see my cousins on from Spain, and you mentioned Grace earlier. I would love it if everyone would type in the comments just where they're watching from, just so
Sure.
we can see where everybody's from. If there's some people on that we don't know, because that's just so exciting to see that everyone around the world's getting a glimpse of this.
That's right. This was an international broadcast.
There you go.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, all y'all, because I'm from Texas too, and Brenda
Yep.
is, thank you for joining us. Brenda, thank you for being here today and sharing the story of your grandmother so that others can live a well done life. And
Oh,
until we see y'all next time, and for me and Brenda, it's going to be in 2 weeks in Ohio.
yes.
Have a blessed day. Remember, you are worth saving. There's a
Yes.
reason you were put on this planet. Now go discover it. Bye for
Yes.
now.
Bye.